Good evening, everyone. My name is Angeline, and for those of you who don't know me, I am Rosniati Salihin's daughter. Firstly, I want to take this time to thank everyone who is here and for paying your respects to my mom. As many of you already know, Rose was an incredible woman. In fact, that word doesn't even do her justice. She was more than incredible, and I think if you took a moment right now, you could come up with many words that could describe her, like mother or second mom or sister, best friend, auntie, banker, philanthropist, teacher, counselor, and so on. It's not a secret, my mother has made a genuine impact in many people's lives. And your presence here tonight, is a testimony of that. As I speak, I may be looking at the camera and not at all of you, but I know that you were all impacted in one way or another by something she has said or done at some point in your life. I hope you can treasure those moments you shared together, because I believe that while she may be gone from our sight, our memories keep her alive. My mother was a fighter right up until the very end. She persisted to fight cancer and to stay around a lot longer so that she could spend time with all of us. But sometimes these things are not in God's will, and that was the very difficult truth we had to accept. We watched her gradually decline, which was incredibly difficult to see, but even in the struggle to stay and fight, she remained selfless. Sure, there were days when she was demanding because she missed Indonesian food and she didn't want to be at the hospital longer than a day. And of course, after months of being in Germany, she just wanted to go home. But it just isn't Rose if she isn't thinking about others. So I hope you can allow me these next few minutes to share how I remember her. My mother was a power woman to many, and an influence to not only the banking world, but also in other areas she was proactive in, like church, charity work, various social activities, and the numerous social groups she was actively involved in. And, well, let's just say the words bored and boring could never be said of her or how she lived her life. And while she was portrayed this way to the world, a woman who could do everything she set her mind and heart to, a woman who was capable of changing the world, to me, she was always Mom. A woman who loved me with all her heart, who imparted many of life's values that she also learned from her father, another strong pillar in my life. A woman who reminded me to always know where I came from and to never forget it. And finally, a woman who, despite the many caliber of awards she received for her achievements, always pushed me to remain humble and insisted that I always knew Jesus. I'm honored that I was raised and loved by one of the fiercest women I will ever know. You might be wondering why I can't be there, and this might be the weirdest way to make an announcement, but my husband and I are expecting our first child, who will be born sometime this month. Unfortunately, because the due date is very close now, I won't be able to make it to the funeral. However, I hope to be there early next year to pay my respects for my mom. Rose was going to be, finally, a grandmother to her first grandson. We told her very early in the pregnancy, before anyone in the family even knew, and she was excited to finally have a grandson. There was a time here in Germany where she told me a story while she was still at the hospital, and she said that she had a dream. She was already holding him in her arms. I think she was slightly disappointed that he wasn't born yet after that dream. But if that's true, then I'm glad that she got the chance to meet our little Lucas. I can only hope that all the things I learned from her, I can also impart onto our son. and that he knows he had a superwoman of a grandmother who already loved him so much and so fiercely. As I close this message, I hope that if there were any disappointments, unsaid words, or any unfinished things my mother never got a chance to say to you, I hope you can find it in your heart to accept this apology on her behalf. I know not all of you were able to see her before she passed to bid your goodbyes, and that was tough. But please know that she fought hard. Please know that she genuinely cared about all of you and would have loved to see you if she was alive right now. And please know that on her last day, God answered our prayers. She rested peacefully without struggle, without pain, and I think after months of fighting, we can all be thankful that she's at peace. Lastly, I want to thank her friends who were by her side throughout this difficult time, but who were always there throughout her life. Tante Lily, Tante Win, Gun, and Tante Kristen, Hendrawan and Tante Ratna, Tante Esther and Aris, Tante Maria and Uncle Shoeb, Tante Farida, Chineneng, Chiheni, and so many, many more of you who stayed by her side. If I were to name everyone, then this video possibly might never end. Thank you also to my family back home, Ko Yonki, Ko Chai, Chilisa, Chi Susan, and Ko Nico, and the rest of the family, the rest of the Salayan clan, who also took care of Mom and loved her like your own. She would be very, very proud of you. Saini, who has been loyal to our family until the very end. I know she might not understand what I'm saying, but she cared for me as a second mother and vowed to my grandfather to always stay with us and to love my mother like a sister. Batni, if you're hearing this, thank you for your unending loyalty and love for our family. And lastly, to her husband John, my stepfather, who never left her side from the moment her treatment started in Singapore until she took her last breath. Thank you for staying strong even when you didn't feel like it. Thank you for going through all the ups and downs, and thank you for showing up for her when she needed you the most. Thank you everyone for being here and for loving my mother as you do, for supporting our family in our time of needs, and for all your prayers. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face towards you and give you peace. God bless you, and until we meet again, goodbye, Mom.